There's a laugh, I heard it.
What is going on, everybody? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever the hell it is you're from. It's 4:30, and today we're doing something a little different. I know normally we don't stream on Sundays, however, today is going to be, again, something new. So today is actually the first ever podcast, or Swellness cast, for the Swellness Center, for the Discord, and for the stream. So yeah, we're gonna try and see how this goes, where it goes, and if you guys enjoy it, we're gonna keep going every Sunday if we can. So I'm not alone though. With me is a couple of the moderators and the regulars we see in the streams. I'll be the host, Z Swell, and with me is Lorraine Rowe.
Hi.
And then aside from her, we have Mother Goose and Hazel Eyes. Guys, go ahead and say hello.
Hola.
Hi.
So yeah, today is going to be, like I said, something new. We're going to see where it goes as far as conversation-wise, things like that. So on today's agenda, I thought we could talk about a couple things related here recently. One of which being the Halo PC launch date being December 3rd, and whether or not it's launching too early. After that, I mean, we could talk about some personal things going on in our lives, achievements, things like that. And then game related, we've got Jedi Fallen Order. Did this Star Wars game save EA in its franchise? And then also the new PS5 trailer. It looks like Sony's finally brought out something that we can watch. So again, it's going to be a couple things we could talk about and dive into. What do we want to talk about first?
Definitely Halo PC.
Halo PC?
Release date for that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let me just pull this up here. So for those of you, if you're aware, Halo PC was announced for a release date. They mentioned it was going to be on December 3rd of this year, 2019. So right now, what you guys are seeing on the screen is the official release date trailer for Halo Reach, Halo MCC coming out to PC by IGN. So yeah. They had a couple flights go for the PC run, had quite a few bugs come into play. I personally was able to experience the flight. I got on board on the second flight through the third upon finishing it, and I personally encountered a few issues. Now, I understand that this is a flight. You know, with these flight tests, it's like a beta, so they want to figure out these bugs, right? They want to get them solved right away. My only problem is, though, they haven't really, I don't think it's well prepared enough to release. I still think there's some bugs. One of which being the input lag. So I don't know, Colby, if you got to experience it, but I mean, what do you think about it launching on the 3rd?
I got to play it. The mouse and keyboards were pretty inexcusably bad, I'd have to say. I would feel more comfortable if this had like a January, February launch. Okay. Unless they just happen to have some like god tier person come in and just fix all those issues. It's still really good with the controller, but mouse and keyboard, it's not so much.
See, I never played it with controller. I whenever the mouse and keyboard, the PC flight launched, I strictly played with mouse and keyboard. And I gotta admit, that first game I got on, I wanted to punch my monitor. I was terrible. I couldn't hit a single shot, even in the torso, anywhere, when playing. It wasn't happening. But, you know, I adapted and I overcame, and, you know, I started to play with it. I started to play with the sensitivity, the FOV, my resolution settings, and eventually, you know, I started getting into the games. I started playing SWAT. SWAT and Snipers seem to be the top games when it comes to playing PC mouse and keyboard, in my opinion. I was much more comfortable playing with a mouse and keyboard, especially in Snipers. I don't know about you or what game modes you preferred.
They did a little flight test. I believe it was like at the Best Buy. We got to try it out, and for me, I didn't get to play that long, but definitely I felt like because of the input delay, I felt more comfortable with like a shotgun or the rocket launcher, just something where you can just broadly like aim at somebody and kill them almost instantaneously.
Right. Jenny, I know you probably didn't play the flight at all, but I know you've seen it at least. I mean, what's your take on it?
I don't know.
Not game related. It's okay.
That's a great question.
Good question. Hey, something.
What one did you play? Did you stream it?
I did, yeah. So any times we were playing Halo Reach, it was most likely going to be the flight that we were playing. Another thing, as far as input lags go, there were a few smaller bugs. Well, not really small, but I'd almost say game breaking. As far as the campaign was going, I don't know if you played the campaign mission in the flight, Colby, but I was running into some sound issues. So, for example, a lot of other people were running into this as well. But whenever you first encounter your Elite Ultra in that open farm field, usually there is a music cue that starts, and you start the fight. Well, you go and you start this fight, but there's no music cue. Like, oof. Nothing plays at all.
I unfortunately did not get to try the campaign. I only got to try out the they had like a little LAN party, quote unquote.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so I never got to try out the campaign. So,
how dare you?
I know, right?
Yeah, on top of that, there are moments too where, for example, the Falcon, so the machine gun turret on the Falcon, it would cut in and out with the sound. So it seemed like the audio source, whenever it was running on the input key down, it wasn't playing it or keeping up with the speed of the machine gun fire or the ray tracing.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so there were moments where it would start bugging in and out. It would fade in and out with the sound or cut. And I caught this in a couple games, and so I feel like that'd be one thing. For me personally, I mean, I would like that to be fixed, those small little details. But also, there's some other things too that they're just there was no press to chat. It was either you had your voice chat automatically on all the time, or you had it turned off. There were still some issues as far as the load-in lobbies were going. So at points, whenever the game loaded in, you would see somebody's emblem flash on the screen, like really, really fast, and it would almost mess with your eyes. It was like that. It got really annoying, and so just little things like that. So personally, I gotta say, as much as I'm excited for this game to come out, I don't think it's ready to launch.
No, not in the current state. At least that we played. I don't know because we just played a vertical slice of it. We didn't actually get to play like the most up to date version.
Right.
But
now,
if
granted, 343 did come out. 343 Postums. He did come out, and if I could find the tweet here on my phone, I might be able to find it. But per 343 Postums, he mentioned that there were going to be some changes as far as the flight coming out. Yeah, let me go ahead and find this post real quick. So let's see.
Well, that's good. I was gonna say, even if it has to at least be half as like all the issues that they currently have. It seems like a lot of them they're just focusing on stability with like graphics and the way it looks.
Okay, right.
They're not actually like doing stuff with the sound or the input delays.
Right.
Sounds like.
And so originally they were also mentioning that Halo Reach will launch on Xbox and PC with no Forge mode or theater. Well, for PC, excuse me, no Forge mode or theater. And this was kind of a red flag for me because you know me, I'm a huge forger. I love, especially Forge World. I love getting hands-on. I think Forge World is actually the most I think I took the time to forge objects or maps in. It was so fun. The canvas was so massive. It gave you plenty of opportunity to just create these amazing ideas and aesthetically appealing shapes and maps. It also came to be the birthplace of some of the very well-known custom games that we all still love and enjoy today. Some of them, Jump Rope? Jump Rope was one of my top favorites. I don't know if you ever played Jump Rope, but...
No, I was really addicted to Griffball for quite a long time.
Griffball, some of Griffball maps even were forged in Forge World. So yeah, right here. So this was an MCC development update brought out on the 22nd by Postums. Basically, I'm not going to run through the whole thing, but he talks about he wanted to get in touch with people who played the flight, but that this forum had some very important details about the fast approaching release of Halo Reach for Xbox One and the Steam platform. So he mentions here first that it falls on December 3rd. They made the announcement at EXO 2019, and they allowed people to play it. Just trying to see. Talked about it some more. He talked about the recap of Flight 3, the bugs that they found, the bugs that they were going to fix, etc. Which, again, I enjoyed the last flight. I really did. They showed improvement, especially in some of the definite game-breaking bugs. For example, getting stuck in the settings menu. That was a pain in the butt.
That one frustrated me, and I was watching you play it.
Yeah, I was getting very, very tilted every time that happened, because again, that caused you to ruin. If for those who are high in think in the KD ratio, who are really big on that, your KD ratio is being ruined, and then you have to either quit the game and take the ban or just wait it out. And so so he's mentioning from this flight that the team was able to build improvements from the feedback pipeline and further streamline how they can iterate the build patches to hotfix items mid-flight. By this, he's probably talking about, how they took out the uncapped frames and the leveling system in order to try and fix this input lag, which doing so, it helped us a little bit. I did notice that people were upset with this fix, this patch, removing the uncapped frames. Personally, I wasn't affected by it. I don't really, uncapped frames are great and all, but if they got to do what they got to do to fix the game, to fix the bugs, then that's perfectly fine by me. Mouse input issues, he goes into that. The flight we just completed was behind our current release code base, so many of improvements have already been implemented and should address a lot of feedback here. The team is currently investigating and iterating on multiple ways to further improve mouse and keyboard input between now and the launch. That right there is music to my ears.
Yeah, that's really good. I like to hear that kind of stuff.
Yes. One thing, though, that is kind of a bummer, because, again, controller usage versus mouse and keyboard, controllers have an advantage in this game. It's a given fact. It's seen. You can easily tell who has a controller versus who doesn't playing this game. Not saying that all controller users are gods, right? I mean, it all also varies on your skill set. But one of the biggest things is the controller aim assist. That kind of gives you that advantage of, auto adjusting to your target. So right here they talk about they're not planning on making changes to the auto aim. They're investigating the best way to handle input types to kind of levy that out. So hopefully they figure something out. They are talking about bringing back the variable frames. So they're going to make sure that that's back in. They're working on the audio issues, the latency issues, server selection, so you can adjust, that way you don't get connected to an East Coast server, and if you want to stay in Midwestern servers, then you can adjust and choose that, which will be amazing. So now my ping doesn't skyrocket every time I'm on an East Coast server. Push to talk. Getting stuck in menus. But the best part is right here. So they talk about the important things that are coming to launch. And that is Halo, the PC Forge and Theater are going to be coming online later next year. So they won't be at launch. However, they will be at launch for the Xbox One users. So I play on Xbox One, that's fine by me. As long as I can get my hands on Forge World and start forging, that's cool. PC file share uploads will not be active at launch. Bummer. I do like sharing my screenshots. This one's cool. So prior to that, they had a file share transfer for people to do, and it was allowing you to take your old maps from the 360 from Halo Reach and Halo 3, and you could transfer them within a set period of time to Xbox One.
Oh, wow.
Salty,
I actually did not know that.
Salty Narwhal, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the podcast. But get this, right? the amount of maps. So in this time frame, it was a very short window. I think it was only like 2.5 weeks. 6.2 million maps and modes were transferred and will be available to play as of December 3rd.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and then another fun one that I'm really excited about, improvements coming to Forge. So I'm really, really excited to see where this goes. There was actually a screenshot, I believe. I don't think they have the screenshots here. Yeah, oh, right here. So, for those of you who are looking in the chat, this is what we have coming to us to Forge World for PC users. I'm hoping it comes to the Xbox version as well. I don't see why they wouldn't add these in, but I'm very excited. As you can see, we have some new vehicles, flyable vehicles, including the Saber. So we can now have space battles that we've always wanted, and the Seraph.
Sweet.
They're bringing in static elements like the Phantom, the Pelican, and the Spirit dropship. They're adding in damaged vehicles like the Falcon. They're adding in anti-air guns. You won't be able to use them, but it's for an aesthetic look. They're adding in the civilian Jeep, the forklift. Everybody loved the forklift in campaign. They're adding in the bridge from the snow map, and they're adding in a bunch more of aesthetically appealing objects. So, for one, I'm excited because this, for many forgers as well, is going to give people the opportunity to create some very, very aesthetically appealing maps. You know, if you want to create, even if it's just a cutscene or a screenshot of a crashed Falcon in some ruined trees, you know, I mean, you can just, all of these here, it looks like a small amount of objects, but these objects by themselves, you can just completely go bonkers with and outside the box when it comes to designing. And so I'm very excited to see where this goes. I'm very excited to see that they're adding these objects in. They're even adding in the Falcon with the machine gun turret and the passenger seats available for people to use in game. So it's going to add a lot more mobility. It's going to add a lot more as far as like game-based objectives go. So I could see a lot of things going here with these new items. So I'm very excited. They even mentioned the different pieces. So for our vehicles, like I said, there's the civilian vehicles, which is our forklifts and our trucks. Our Sabers and our Seraphs will be drivable, and you know, there's the Troop Warthog, the Heavy Falcon, and the Heavy Shade Turret. So now you can shoot fuel rods out of a Shade Turret. You will now have ammo crates. So you can go pick up ammo from an ammo crate now instead of having to spawn with a certain amount and pick up another weapon. You will have an additional grav lift variant. Shield doors. Scenery, you have dropship props, destroyed vehicles, a variety of crates, carts, destructible pallets, driftwood, a wide variety of Forerunner platforms, doors and walls for the structures, large rocks and trees, set dressings and multiple pallets. Again, all of these things are just music to my ears when it comes to actually forging. So, again, I'm really, really excited to see where it goes. Colby, what about you? What do you think?
So everything I just heard is just so great. I just love that they're going to be adding like more stuff and they're not even asking that much for Halo on PC anyways.
No,
like,
absolutely not. What does it come to? Was it $40?
$40 for like all those games. And they're even on top adding to the select games. They're adding more content for free on it. And I can't wait to see all the custom battles with like forklift races or something like that.
Yeah.
That's something I'm very excited to hear. I'm sad that Forge isn't going to be available. That part's a little bit sad, but I mean, hey, whatever it takes to put the main game out is fine by me because I'm just ready to hop back into the campaign. I don't think I've played that campaign since like maybe a year after the launch of the game, after like probably the 6th time going through it.
Watching the game though, I did notice that there was a ton of really messy spawns. It was a very, very big chance in a lot of multiplayers to get spawn killed, especially with the different trapped areas. I also noticed there's a big rollover risk with a lot of the vehicles, especially with the static objects, and then of course the uh, the structural.
The structural.
Yes.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I mean, I can agree. The spawning was definitely another thing about this game. I don't know if they changed something around, but personally, I don't remember playing with the selected maps that they give us and just seeing the spawning that bad. Does that make sense? Spawning in front of somebody, or immediately coming back into the game and getting spawn killed. Unless somebody just memorized the spawns like a god, then I don't know. But yeah. So overall, December 3rd, I personally don't think that's the right time to do it. But if they can pull this off, if they can fix the input lag on time, if, and they make it playable, I should say, I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I think I will be fine. Even with the campaign too. Just go back and just grind out legendary campaign, do the lasso challenges. So yeah. Overall, Halo Reach, December 3rd, coming here. Man, that was a lot actually to talk about in the first 30 minutes. So I'm pretty excited. Next thing I want to talk about is something that Lorraine actually showed me, which you said Jenny showed you that as well?
No.
No? Where'd you get?
I got it from a man named Quentin. He's a fellow PC streamer.
Okay. So the next thing on our topic choice is Sony and their PS5.
Oh, that was.
I knew you were gonna say that.
That was Jenny?
That was Jenny.
Okay. So yeah, Jenny
And
here.
I got heard it from her first and got the input from Quentin.
So yeah, so this is the trailer that they showed off for the new PS5. So they give a date. First off, I should stop. So they give a date, fall 2020. PS5 first trailer. Something right off the bat though in this trailer I'm already noticing, and Colby, you'll probably find this interesting as well. There's a Halo Forward Unto Dawn poster in the background for a Sony PlayStation trailer.
What?
Yeah. What's up with the Halo backdrop? Like, what's up with that? Halo and PS5, I mean, Xbox official. We'll get back to that in a second, but let's just continue with the trailer.
You're in a desert, walking along in the sand. You look down and you see a tortoise, Leon. You reach down, you flip the tortoise over on its back. The tortoise lays on its back, its belly baking in the hot sun, beating its legs, trying to turn itself over, but it can't. Not without your help. But you're not helping.
You want to play?
You want to play?
Boom. That's what we got for a trailer.
Phenomenon.
Okay then.
Returns.
Yeah.
Get tickets now.
I'm very excited to see where that's going to be leading. But yeah, I'm questioning why there's a Halo
Right?
poster and a PlayStation ad.
But yeah, let's look at it real quick. So, okay. So first off, again, the Halo poster. Now, this is just a theory. There was a rumor, not confirmed, that Halo has the likelihood of coming to the PlayStation.
That would be so weird. That would be yet another reason why I wouldn't buy an Xbox then.
I was, again, it's just a rumor. People weren't exactly, I mean, I don't believe it. I don't think Microsoft, Halo is one of their top selling franchises, exclusive to the Xbox. But now since it's coming to the PC, it loses that exclusivity. It's going to Steam, of all places, not the Windows Store, Steam. But with that, I mean that just opens the doors. Personally, I mean, I think that if anything, we might see it on PlayStation. We might see Halo with the Sony logo. Believe it or not.
That would be very weird. That's like that's some like Sega level stuff where like eventually Sega dipped out and then like Sonic was put on a Nintendo console and everyone was like, "What?"
Yeah, I agree. I think that it would be interesting. So another thing too, I think the trailer, it's odd.
You're in a desert.
It's odd. You know, you're in a desert. You're walking along the sand. Yeah, you look down and you see a tortoise, lion.
Leon.
You reach down, you flip the tortoise over on its back. The tortoise lays on its back, its belly baking in the hot sun.
Its legs trying to turn itself over, but it can't. Not without your help.
Now, I don't know if this is a quote from anything or what. I do like this, the whole, when they use the square, circle, X, and the triangle for the outline and the eyes and the pupils. That's really cool. I do like that.
See, I disagree though.
You disagree? Why is that?
Well, while it's a cool feature, but mainly the whole trailer is just the like following what may be the experience of the consumer instead of actually telling anything about the console. We get like what, 2 pieces of information, the 12 teraflops and what was it, like 8 core? 12?
Like yeah, I think let's see.
We don't really learn the design, the concept, because it looks more like a round Alexa in the beginning, so you don't really get to see any design of the console. And then it does give the 2 pieces of information. The rest of the time, it's just what could be the consumer, like, experience.
Okay.
Why do they start out with that?
See, I don't know. That's, again, I'm confused by the trailer. I really am.
But I don't even know if that's like from a specific game or anything like that.
There was clearly something specific game related, also themed, but it's your girl. It was clear, but we'll go to that here in a second. But yeah, so the 2 pieces of info we get, actually 3. They show you 3, but one of them is like a flash. So the first piece, or I think actually the second piece, where doesn't play here. No, okay, so it's 12 teraflops of power, which Colby, you're the tech expert here, so teraflops, 12 teraflops. I'm assuming that's a lot.
Yeah, that's quite a bit, especially for a console GPU. That basically just means it's going to be one heck of a powerhouse.
And then right here, so the AMD Zen 2 CPU. So it's 8 cores and 16 threads at 4 gigahertz.
Oh, that's better than my current PC.
So I'm assuming then that's a lot. So this is going to be built like a brick shit house.
Yes, this thing is going to wreck whatever you throw at it, essentially.
Okay.
And they're going to be putting an SSD into this thing too. That was also something that they had talked about briefly.
Did they?
When they announced it, they said they're going to have like I think a 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, and 3 terabyte SSD models at launch, and that's going to help. Like one of the things that they said too was they tested out Spider-Man on the PS4 Pro and then the PS5. The PS4 Pro had about a 15-second load time or 30 seconds, something like that, whereas on the PS5 it was half of a second.
Wow.
And so yeah, they said basically that they're trying to go for like the God of War thing where there's no load times.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool.
This is the third piece, and this is literally on screen for less than a millisecond. Like, it is a blink. So after this dude's mesmerizing eyes, retro compatibility pops up on the screen for a millisecond.
Uh-oh. That just probably means PS4 is going to be played on it.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. If both Sony and Microsoft for the new platforms, if they go this route where it's exclusive, where you could only buy PS5 games, they're going to lose a shit ton of money. Because how long has the PS4 really been out for? What? I mean, going on 5 years?
Yeah, something like 5-6 years, something like that.
Well, it is a long time, and new consoles on the way, but we've had so many different upgrades in different generations of the PS4 and the Xbox One. I mean, it doesn't feel like that long because of the different time. I mean, the Xbox One X has only been out for 2 years.
Something like that. Yeah, I got mine near launch.
The Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro, they've only been out for 2 years now.
All right, so PS5, they're definitely trying to commit to an older generation. The quote from the beginning is actually just spliced quotes from Blade Runner 1982. In the end, it states that they're just questions, Leon, and in answer to your query, they're written down for me, and it's a test designed to provoke an emotional response. So that would actually explain why they're so focused on the consumer experience. They're trying to invoke an emotional response into their viewers.
Which that would make sense, especially with the reactions from the multiple sets of people when they're looking at something. The question is, what are they looking at? I mean, they could be looking at these graphics, because this right here, this is what I think. If this is them showing off the power of this console, this is going to be beefy. Right here. Obviously, it's Daenerys from Game of Thrones. But just look at the detail. How surreal that is. I don't know what game this is from. This could be a new Game of Thrones game, so this could be hinting at a new title coming out here in 2020 along with the PS5. Who knows? But if this is what the power of the system is going to have, I'm excited. I'm also excited to see what the Xbox has to show off, because, they got to, seeing this, they got to push something out there. They got to showcase something. And so I'm really looking forward to see, both of these beefcakes go at it power-wise. So, yeah, thoughts though. We heard from Lorraine, heard from Colby. Jenny, what about you? What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. If it's better than what we have now, then sure. But if it's not, I don't understand the shapes in the eyes right now. That's what I'm stuck on.
The shapes in the eyes. So the shapes they're trying to promote with the Sony brand, because on an Xbox or a PlayStation controller, you have X, circle, square, and triangle is your different button choices. So I mean, we see that along here, and then even towards the end, they get a little like showcase of all 4 buttons.
Okay, then why Alexa?
Well, that's the point. It's just, I think it's supposed to be a futuristic standpoint on what their new design is going to be, because their design has been leaked on multiple occasions, and so they're trying to keep this very, almost like a secret vibe to it, where they don't want it to be seen, so they're using Alexa as into, maybe they'll have some type of Alexa voice call into the PS5, where you could, you can call out to Google or Alexa. Perhaps. I'm not 100% sure.
So far, the only images that we have for the PS5 are very...
It looks like a big cable box, to be honest.
Yeah. If we do PS5 weekend...
If they're going to do Alexa integrated with the PS5, they better make sure they do it right this time, because there is a game that takes advantage of Alexa on the PS4, which is Destiny.
Really?
Oh boy. Yeah, it does not work.
So these are the images that we have for the concept of the PS5. Personally, this thing looks like an oven toaster. Honestly, what's up with the gap in the center?
Box.
I understand that's for fan coolage, but honestly, it looks like a coffee warmer in the center.
Well,
it looks like a V for 5.
I actually think it looks like a projector slot.
Yes.
Oh, actually, that'd be sick.
That would be pretty slick, actually.
I agree with that.
And then I'm not sure if this is an actual image, but this is another leak. It could be a concept image. I think this looks pretty slick. I mean, it's similar to the original models. I do like the blue outline. If that does end up being a blue UV along with the controller, that's gonna be really cool. There's multiple there's multiple pictures of this.
So are they not set on the design yet? Is that what's happening?
I don't think so. Personally, we might get more details to come next year with E3. But aside from this, I think Sony has the only thing related to their new console that's coming out. That new trailer. I haven't seen anything Xbox wise, so yeah, I'm not sure. We could get this as our product. Or we could get something entirely different, and it looks cooler. It may look worse. Who knows?
Oh God, I hope not.
Also, I don't. Does PS4, PS3 have anything to do with like a? Do they have like a Kinect, like Xbox has Kinect? Do they have any?
They have like a PlayStation camera. So I mean, for the VR compatibility, you have to have a camera
ours does.
and everything.
Well, I'm saying that's what I was saying, because I was thinking that earlier. The Daenerys actually looks very, very lifelike, like the virtual reality, and with virtual reality coming out now on PC and all these other compatible consoles, that's what it reminded me of. So it would make sense for it to be almost like a projector or like
I could see
a
that.
Kinect, something like that.
I could see that.
I just go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, talking about the virtual reality, with the PlayStation VR 2, they're actually not gonna have that little stupid external breaker box. That's actually gonna be in the console
Really?
this time. Oh yeah, and that it is said to be that it's also gonna have a camera on it, new Move controllers for the VR, and that they're testing out some gloves for it. So like full-on gloves instead of just dumb controllers that you're waving around.
Wow, that is gonna be awesome.
Oh
And
yeah,
see,
definitely.
That would make sense for them to put sensors in the direction they would. If they would put it in the V, then it would cross paths instead of going out straight, so it would hit all areas. But I'm saying I think the design with the, inside V or the cooling modules or whatever they're trying to do would be pointless if there wasn't actually a reason for them to put the indent into the top of the console.
That's true.
Yeah.
That also reminds me, we're gonna wrap up here on the PlayStation because I mean this is all we have. So real quick, overall, PS5 announcement trailer looks cool. They don't really show much. They give us a little bit of detail as far as what to expect, spec wise, things like that. With the release date on the trailer, fall of 2020. So fall of 2020, we can expect to see something of a console type. Hopefully we see more details come up next year, later on in the summer. But I wanted to, because we're on the topic of VR, who here has seen Half-Life's Valve's new game?
Me.
So for those of you,
now I'm interested.
What's up?
I said no, but now I'm interested.
So Valve, for those of you who don't know, first off, Valve, they can't count to 3. Everybody has, so the Half-Life series, huge fan base for this series. Everybody is so desperate, including myself. I want a Half-Life 3. I need to see how the story ends. They leave you at such a great cliffhanger. You want to know, but they won't do it. So that being said, they brought out an announcement trailer 3 days ago, for Half-Life Alyx. It is a virtual reality Half-Life game. And I saw this trailer, and a lot of people also saw it, and they were very skeptical. But so far, it looks pretty promising. Like, this is... Just go ahead and check this out.
I'm here. So what's the plan?
If we can get this weapon, what we're doing here could change things forever.
There's no straight shot to the vault. I'm gonna head inside, find a way out. Got it.
I'm with you every step of the way.
You're gonna need a gun. Don't worry, it's unloaded. It's unloaded now.
Combine chatter's really picking up. They know you're coming. You need to get out of here, now. Oh, God.
They've got Dad.
They're gonna find out what he knows, and then they're gonna kill him.
All this is my fault. I never told you. I couldn't. I'm so sorry, baby.
You will not save him. Alex Vance alone cannot prevent his fate.
Close your eyes, honey.
So pretty crazy stuff. Oh, and of course, we have the G-Man. So March 2020, Half-Life Alyx for the VR is set to launch. Oculus Rift. It's gonna be set on Steam. I don't own one personally, but this game makes me want to own one.
Yeah, I'm very excited to pick that up. I actually have a Vive headset, and I am just, I just want to play it so badly. The new Source engine that it's on.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, it's the most beautiful VR game, and it's the first one that I feel like is going to be like a true, seller for VR.
I agree.
I feel like.
This right here. I mean, just look at the intro. The introduction to the trailer, and the graphic detail. From everything from the dust particles to what it looks like overgrowth in this underground basement, washing area. We've got some smaller details. I mean, the character comes peeking around the corner and then taking these objects, that right there. Taking that simple thing as a bucket and just moving it with your own hand, applying the little detailed physics like that is amazing. So if this game is going to have that throughout the entirety of the game, I think this is looking to be the first high definition VR game that's going to have a successful launch.
I'm wondering how you can interact with the objects and enemies. When the head crab jumps at Alex, I wonder if you could use the bucket to catch it and then put the bucket down to keep it underneath it.
See, now that would be cool. That would be amazing.
That would be awesome.
And if you look at the gloves. So I don't know. So right here, just the fingers, right? Look at the fingers and the detail on them, the little mechanical grips. So if you're not familiar with it, Oculus actually has a new set of hand grips that they're working on where they're actually gloves. So instead of it just working with buttons, it works with your knuckles. So your individual fingers will actually work in the game. So if you wanted to squeeze your finger like a trigger or curl it, it will curl in the game. Because it works with the anatomy of the bones in game versus yours. So it's just one step closer to a full virtual reality where you can have full body motion. I mean, this is one step closer to a Ready Player One phase.
Yeah, so that's what I'm pretty much seeing is the development of Oasis.
Pretty much. Which that's a whole different discussion for another podcast. But we've got it. He turns around. You got some more of this organic life or biomass. And then you have the head crab, which, look at that. That's awesome. That looks scary. It's creepy. I don't like things that are arachnid type, so that would scare the shit out of me.
I'm very impressed with actually all the shadows, even the object like the jug that's being thrown to the side.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at the flare of the light when it hits the talons, the claws or the legs. I mean, just the detail of the character. It looks like you could see through it for how pale it is, but for how alien it looks. And we get a better look too at the hands. So I don't know if this could be just details showing off the glove accessories, or what. But no.
The gloves obviously later on she sticks her hands into a machine, so I'm guessing it had something to also do with the game.
Yeah, right here actually. So yeah, she goes in and she sticks her hands in, and now she's got the full on, which we will. Let's go back here. So yeah. Which it looks like there's full finger adjustment.
It also looks like they're adding more mechanics as it goes, and also right there they have hearts, so I'm guessing it's a life and a time clock.
Oh, I didn't notice that on first glance. Wow, that's really cool. But no, this game just looks super detailed in everything you do.
I did like the bit of comedy too, so.
Yeah, the comedy's gonna be nice. I mean, we got some action here. We've got some head crab zombies. It looks like you're traversing a subway system. My favorite part is right here. This is awesome. So when Alex goes through, she rubbages around, she finds shotgun shells behind a shelf, loads the shotgun, you got to manually cock it, and then you're good to go. That is cool. The fact that you have the opportunity, or you're going to have moments where you have to scrummage around or forage around in trash because you might find bullets, might find some ammo.
Yeah, but I also wonder if it's just like a detail to get you excited about the game, a little animation point, because, you know, I would hate for them to advertise something like that and then you just find like an ammo box on a shelf.
I agree. I mean, that could be another thing too. They could be just doing this to advertise it. What do you think, Colby?
Well, yeah, if you look right next to where the shotguns are, there's a full case right there, or half a full case. I think they're probably going to do a bit of a mixture of both. It's like, oh, this is a room where you're going to have a lot of combat, so we should give the player a significant amount of ammo, whereas like in this situation, it seems like you're on the run, you're trying to get away, so you're just going to scrap by. So I think it's going to be a combination of both, honestly.
Yeah, but although it would make sense for them, like this specific room, like you said, a lot of combat room, there is a blockage point at the doorway, it seemed, and there was right there. That way they couldn't actually break through, so it would give players a chance to actually scrummage around.
Yeah.
I just think that would be cool. I mean, you're pinned down, and you know, again, you're out of ammo, and so at this point, you have to look on a shelf and pray to God you find something, whether like a single bullet. Something else that I noticed too, and Valve has never done this in any of their games. But wait for it. Boom. Look to the bottom left. Oh God, I messed up.
Oh, I was at the figure.
Yeah. Did you catch who it was?
Yeah, it was the scout.
Yeah, it's the scout from Team Fortress 2. Now, if I'm correct, Valve has never showcased or had little Easter eggs relating to any of their games.
The only ones that really do is Portal and Half-Life 2, but that's because they're in the same universe.
Right. But aside from that, you don't really see anything. So I hope Valve gets more into that. I hope we start to see more Easter eggs and things that kind of look back and promote back to the earlier games. That would be pretty cool to see. Maybe some like earlier Half-Life games. Obviously, this is going to be in the Half-Life universe, so it would be nice to see some callbacks to like Gordon Freeman or somebody like that. Callbacks to Team Fortress, callbacks to Portal. I definitely want to be. I would love to see a callback to Gary's Mod. Yeah, like you just walk through a room and you see somebody with a Gary's Mod sandbox map opened up.
That would be funny.
That would be funny. That would be pretty cool.
And I know you guys have already talked about this, but I just think the texture on both even the tarp and then the shelf is kind of amazing. Like you're getting to a much more lifelike point. And even the notches on top of the weapon.
Oh yeah, I mean the character design too. I mean virtual reality has just come so far from when they originally started. And
here again, like I said, the graphics here do still remind me and puts hopes in me for the PS5 for that Daenerys, because it reminds me of it. So the fact that this is actually a virtual reality game. Future. You know?
What's crazy too is and Colby, I think you can relate to this too, because I still play Source made games. The Source engine, even the older generation of the Source engine, is still to this day one of the most detailed gaming engines.
Oh yeah, I mean, heck, Titanfall 1 and 2 and Apex were all made off the Source engine. I mean, it's modified, but it still uses the Source engine.
I mean, Gary's Mod, the early stages of Gary's Mod, literally had individual parts where you could build and operate a PC in the game.
Yeah, that's insanity to me.
Yeah.
The flexibility of that engine. I mean, it's a little dated, but that's just because it's been, like, not touched for, a decade at this point?
No, absolutely. And then, you know, we got the Combine, which the Combine look kick-ass.
Oh, dude, they look like beefy boys, man.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Look like they got some new weapons, though. Obviously, they got a new glow-up with their suits, which, I don't know. I mean, personally, top 5 antagonist armies, Combine one of the top 5.
Oh, definitely, for sure.
Just the characters, the military movement. We have a sentry bot in the back. It looks like one of those asshole bots that would take pictures of you in the train station that you just want to beat the hell out of. Yeah.
Oh God.
I do notice she has no gadgets on her gloves at this time.
She doesn't.
Yeah, so this could be an early part of the game.
Yeah. So we have no gadgets.
And, you know, they did say they took her father and someone's on the floor. You see the shoes up?
True. Very true. This is another cool scene that I thought. I mean, we've got one of the tripods.
Oh man,
The walkers. I mean,
that
look,
looks.
it has a face now. Like the detail on this thing. So now I'm starting to get pre, but I'm also starting to get post City 17 vibes here, like when the battle took place. That makes sense.
So they actually confirmed when this takes place in the timeline. It's between 1 and 2.
Oh, it's between 1 and 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So okay, so this is happening then as the Combine are invading.
Yeah, this is supposed to be, I think, a part of like the 7-year war or whatever they.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, and that's starting to make sense. That's gonna be cool to see, because you in the previous Half-Life games you learned that there was a 7-year war with this alien race and humanity, and obviously the United States failed, and Earth was overrun by Combine. But it's gonna be interesting to see. What else? This was cool. This was pretty neat. This hollow pad that showcased, where you were going and then how you could place objects on this map. That was pretty neat.
It actually reminds. This is more like a blueprint type of hologram, but it slightly reminds me. We were just playing Last Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the map and the campaign.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm curious to see if you can interact with this. So she's placing that cup down. I want to see, does she? Yeah, so watch when she places the cup down. Like, it's super quick. But she places it down and it highlights that area. So I don't know if that's going to be something you can interact with or what, but that'll be exciting.
I have to apologize. It's not the 7-year war, it's the 7-hour war, my bad.
Gotcha, okay.
So that could be taking place during that.
This is also interesting. So we have more of this like biomass and organic life. So I don't know if this is from, the head crabs or what, but it's just there's eyes in the walls. I mean, you got like tongues hanging out. I think those are tongues. I don't want to be tongues, but I mean, what else do we got? We have a dead Combine being stuck to what looks like one of the hanging biomasses that would pick you up. I mean, this looks really, really creepy, but really cool at the same time. So,
oh
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And then lastly, towards the end here, I mean, we've got a very, very familiar looking enemy, which that looks amazing.
It looks so terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, just getting swarmed by those. We even have a bigger one right here, so it's gonna be great to see. And then we have finally.
Cuddle it.
We have this strange Combine structure, like an alien ship, Combine ship, just hanging here. So, looks like that might be an objective. And then, of course, we have the title. So,
well, in the beginning, with the ship, all the wires are connected. It did show like almost like an electric current that had to go through them.
No, that's true. That's true. It did. So that might be a power source. But then, of course, at the end, we have G-Man, which G-Man is just looking fine as a dime. And just look at the detail. That is a creepy G-Man.
I'd like to see a side-by-side of the Half-Life 2 G-Man versus this G-Man. And, this one's so much higher quality.
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, I think we could pull that up. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, just pull them up right here. Put them next to each other. So, we've got... Half-Life Alyx G-Man. Half-Life 2 G-Man.
Oh, my word. That is night and day different.
Wow. Granted, that's still pretty good for that Source engine at the time, but...
Oh, yeah. 2003?
Wow. That's insane. That's cool. So...
God, he looks so good.
He does. That just shows you the quality difference. That's absolutely just... It blows my mind. So... Again, very excited to see where this goes, but again, it came to mind as far as titles go. So... Yeah. So Half-Life Alyx announcement trailer set to release on the VR in March 2020. Be excited about it if you are a VR player. This looks like a very top-notch game. It looks promising. Yeah, check it out from there. I think for our last topic, it's gonna be one of more recent. We just played the game, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And the question, I'm gonna ask it. This isn't rhetorical, so you guys feel free. Whoever wants to answer. Do you think this game saved EA?
I'm gonna say no.
No. Why?
I think it's a step in that direction, but I don't think one game is gonna change a lot of people's minds, especially with all the burnout from like Battlefront 2 was a huge hit for anything Star Wars, and I think this more is a tip in the hat towards Respawn more than EA, especially because the game's not just filled with microtransactions. It definitely doesn't feel like EA game.
It doesn't have EA's stamp on it, basically.
Yeah, and I think if EA lets Respawn and their other like smaller companies, I think this is a step in the right direction. I don't think it's a total revive, but it's getting there.
Okay, I can see that. Lorraine, what do you think? Do you think this game saved EA?
I don't think it saved EA. I do think it gave it a bit of a reboot because EA hasn't come out with an actual game that people have craved to play, and with Star Wars coming out in the next month or so, it definitely did give them a boost, I think, in ratings. So it'll give them a lot more to think about in the future as to what's going around them, because they tend to go towards topics that aren't really in the now, I suppose.
Okay. I'm going to agree and to disagree. I don't think it completely saved EA, but like Colby said, I think that it's putting them in the right direction. Moreover, I think Respawn saved EA. I think, and by that I mean I think they saved EA from losing their deal with Disney with Star Wars.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think this was good faith, and they're not meddling with it. So
absolutely. Which I played through it. I beat the game. I played it on Jedi Master Mode, and this game was hard, especially on that difficulty. I mean, I even lowered it to Jedi Apprentice at times, and it was still pretty challenging. The boss fights were awesome. The exploration was beautifully designed. I loved the level design of these worlds. The fact that you could go through and explore as much as you wanted. You didn't even have to follow the mission line to unlock planets. They were there for you right off the bat to explore. And you could go through, explore them early, maybe get some force powers or gadgets, and then go back and explore the first world that you were at to unlock more. So it gave you more to crave and more to look for. So for those of you that are, into open world exploration games, similar to, I'd say, Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Uncharted, this is definitely a game that's going to be in your best interest. And if you're a Dark Souls fan, even Dark Souls, there's a lot of references to Dark Souls here. Personally, I haven't played Dark Souls. I'm just now starting a playthrough of the first one on my Twitch channel. You can go watch that at twitch.tv/ZSwell, which is actually where we're talking right now because this is live on the channel. But there were a lot of similarities, and even the developers themselves of Respawn said, yeah, we took inspiration from Dark Souls when it came to the fighting mechanics. We wanted to. So I was pretty happy to see that. I was more happy to see that Respawn was just taking all the reins. I mean, they didn't let EA touch this once. And I had always been a fan of Respawn, especially with their Titanfall games. The first one, even though most didn't care for it, I still enjoy it to this day. Titanfall 2 was even a step higher for them. They listened to their fan base. They asked, hey, we want a campaign. We want, more Titans. We want more weapons for our Titans. And they listened, and they gave it to the fans. And Titanfall 2, personally, I thought was underrated by them. because people were still like, yeah, it feels like Titanfall 1, when in reality it was its own different game. And the fact that there's a company out there that can create an emotional connection between a human and a robot was outstanding.
Titanfall 2 is probably one of the best examples of how you can make a good campaign for an FPS, for a first-person shooter.
I agree.
That campaign was amazing.
I agree with that. I'm actually replaying the campaign right now in my off time from streaming. So to hear that Respawn was going to be making this game, and the fact that they didn't have to worry about a multiplayer system or any co-op features, but just a sole single-player story, I was excited off the bat. I didn't even care about the EA logo. I mean, that was blocked out for me. All I saw was Respawn and the potential that they had behind making this, and they really showed it here. Again, from the gameplay mechanics to the level design, the story. At no point in time was I playing this game and asking myself, why am I doing this, or why am I going to this location? What is my goal? What's my purpose here? Because it was so well explained through the plot and through the characters that you meet along the way. That and the callbacks. I thought the callbacks to some of the original trilogy, the callbacks to the Clone Wars cartoon series, that was awesome. That was really cool. Even in the trailer that you're seeing right now, that first planet where it's a scrapyard of the old Republic Venators and ships, I thought that was amazing. That was Respawn saying, hey, we're not here to play. We're here to give you what you've always wanted. And I gotta say, I mean, I haven't said this for a Star Wars game in a while, but I think Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, in my opinion, is got to be the best Star Wars game out to date.
I would definitely say it's up there for me.
Story-wise. Campaign-wise, I should say.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's one of the best out there, I'd have to say. I still have a love in my heart for Knights of the Old Republic, but...
Right, no, that
for
one
modern Star Wars, this is the bomb. Battlefront 2's campaign was a joke.
Yeah, Battlefront 2's campaign was... no. I don't know what they were doing there. But I don't. Well, Lorraine, what did you think? You've seen some of the stream for the campaign. You've seen as far as like the cutscenes and everything. What did you think about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? Like what?
Altogether, I thought it was very well. Like, as you said, the plot made a lot of sense. My only problem was I felt like there was also a lot in there. You know, I'm like a hardcore Star Wars fan. I remember in the chat when she was talking, I was like, I really thought she was a Jedi for a second. Of course, like 2 minutes later, she's like, I used to be a Jedi, and I was like, see, I just feel like it's very predictable if you're a diehard Star Wars fan. Anyways, that was the only thing that really bothered me. I did like the fact that they, did little things like incorporate, build your own lightsaber and everything like that. And my only problem was, I, being a not so good campaign gamer, I would love to play it, but I would suck terribly at this game, especially if I played it on Jedi Master Mode, just because of the fact that I'm not as, like, I just felt like you were zooming through it. You knew exactly what to do. You'd see grates, you'd jump, and you'd climb. I would have been standing there for like 10 minutes trying to figure out what to do, because I didn't feel like it gave you any direction on how to get anywhere. It was typically a figure it out yourself game.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Which it was. There are some points where, yeah, it did look like I was zooming through it, but there were points where I'm like, I'm lost. Especially, oh my god, the tombs. So the Zepho tomb, oh boy, that gave me Zelda Breath of the Wild vibes all the way. That puzzle was just, I just sat there like, what am I doing? Why am I here? I had to Google it, and it was the dumbest thing, the smallest thing, the most common sense thing to do, which was get a ball into one of the other ports. I was like, you're kidding me. I had to use that one ball multiple times. I was like, well, I'm dumb.
Hi, Lizzie.
So, hey, Lizzie, what's going on? Welcome. We're just talking about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and what we thought about it. But aside from that, I want to go back and I want to replay it just to explore. Like, I want to 100% explore all the planets, see what they have to offer, read all the lore pieces. Because I started reading some, and the story goes even further in depth, and more callbacks to the Republic, even. Especially the notes you find on Kashyyyk from the former battle with the droids in the Clone Wars on Kashyyyk. That was awesome. Swimming through that LAT gunship and seeing those dead clones was one of the coolest little details I think they could have brought in. So,
oh yeah, with like the crashed ship or whatever.
Yes, and then seeing
sick.
the crashed clone fighter jet in the tree in the vines, that was awesome. So their attention to detail here was incredible. I hope they push DLC. I really, really do. I want free DLC content. I want to see a more fleshed out backstory behind Seer. What was the name of the captain?
I'm not good with names.
Well, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, like the pilot.
Yeah, so the pilot, I would love to see a fleshed out story with him. Because he talks about his gambling addiction. He talks about, doing things like that. And I was like, well, that would be cool to see his backstory, his past. I was scrolling through Twitter, and somebody who I follow who also enjoyed the game, he's a huge Sith fan. So, and he said, he mentioned that he mentioned out to Respawn, is like, please, can we get a DLC involving Tetra's story? And I thought about that. I'm like, that would be really cool. Imagine playing as this Sith Inquisitor who used to be a former Padawan or apprentice. I think that would be an interesting backstory. More hilts, more colors. I thought it was cool already that you could go from 3 colors to 8. Like Lorraine said, though, it was kind of a foreshadowing thing, because when you went to go find your Kyber crystal and you held it up, it's like, oh, okay, this is where I get to choose. I was not anticipating them to give you those colors of free choice. I thought it was, you unlock 1 extra color and you're done. No, they gave you 8 colors overall to choose from. Technically, you would only have 6 if you didn't have the DLC, which that DLC upgrade was worth it, because if you got the full base game for $10 more, you got the DLC, which, yeah, granted, it was only cosmetics, but those cosmetics were pretty kick-ass to look at in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Especially that orange lightsaber. That was pretty slick. So,
And real quick, I remember talking about in your stream how I thought it was amazing how most of the villains, most of the Siths were actually females, because normally a lot of Siths are depicted as males. I believe in Clone Wars there's 2. I might be wrong on that. I haven't completely finished it, but I thought it was amazing. Like, this second sister was the best villain I have seen in a Star Wars game in a long time.
Yeah, no, I'd have to agree. Tetra was pretty badass. The fight, oh my god. Oh man, those fights.
That just sounds wrong.
The Ninth Sister. Wow.
I heard that, Hazel.
The Ninth Sister.
7 tries.
7 tries. 7 tries, really?
I'm pretty sure it was 7.
It took 7 tries to beat her on Jedi Master. And then I thought that one was the hardest, but then you get to Dathomir, and from there it was just a train wreck. I think I threw my controller at least 3 times into my bed, and it actually lodged into my bed frame at one point. I was just like, well, whatever. So, but aside from that, the challenge, I enjoyed the challenge. I thought it was super fun, and that's what motivated me to play Dark Souls. So, because the challenge, it felt like a true campaign. A lot of people were saying they were disappointed because they felt how short it was, but I personally didn't think it was that short. When you play it, now, of course, if we were to play it on story mode from start to finish, we would have probably finished the game within the first day, because of how easy the game feels, how much less of a challenge it is against the fighting forces. But to play it on Jedi Master mode, even though I'm not so familiar with these melee games, I was pretty it felt pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Like it felt like a true story. I felt like a Jedi at those times. So overall, love the game. I don't know about you guys from what you saw. I would definitely love to see a new Star Wars, a similar campaign like this. I hope Respawn pushes out more content for this game. I want to see more. And I think, I'll be looking forward to see what they have next. So, and I think this is the right step for EA. I just hope EA takes from this and understands, okay, maybe we should take a step back and realize that we goofed up. So, yeah. What about you, Colby?
As a Dark Souls fanatic, I loved this game. I've beaten the Dark Souls. I've beaten all the Souls-like games, like even Bloodborne, probably 10, 12 times a piece. And like I cannot get enough of it. And playing this, well, it was Respawn's version of what Dark Souls would be in Star Wars, which was completely on point. It wasn't too difficult to learn. That was one thing that I liked. Like, whereas Dark Souls, there's a learning curve. In this, it's a lot more friendly to like every person.
Mm-hmm.
But there was also still that challenge, the Jedi Master mode that I played it on, that I just could not get enough of it. I was just loving every minute. And I mean, for it to be a 20-hour long story, I mean, that's a decent amount of time. So I don't know what people were talking about, like it being too short. I think people are just saying that they love it so much that they want more of it, which is a good sign. I would love to see DLC. And then also a second Fallen Order. So
yes, I think that this could lead up to a new one. So, that being said, guys, we did cover all the topics that we were going to talk about today. So it's almost hitting an hour and a half, which is about the length of the podcast we're going for here. So I think we're going to wrap it up a little early. But as a first podcast, I thought this went pretty well. I want to thank Jenny, Lorraine, and Colby for coming and chit-chatting, sharing their opinions about what they thought in these related topics. I hope you guys do enjoy the podcast. If you were not in the live stream, do not worry. This is being posted on YouTube probably as we speak. So you can check out all of the previous podcasts and the future podcasts that are to come on the YouTube channel at youtube.com/c/zswell. And be sure to give it a like, comment what you think, and whatever topics that you think we should do in the next podcast, be sure to also let us know that as well. Other than that, thank you all so much, and we will see you all next Sunday at 4:30 p.m. U.S. Central Time. So, take care, guys.